Alright, so making a little update video on the UAV project I've got going on. So let's jump right into some photos. So this is going to be about the building process here. Starts out, there's actually a YouTube video or a company called Flight Test. They make a lot of plans for scratch built airplanes. You use foam board. They call it Dollar Tree foam board because you can get it at the Dollar Tree. And so I printed out this tiled version of this motor glider plan here. You just stick this down on the foam board with tape, cut along these lines. You end up with the parts of the airplane, fold them up and glue them with hot glue. And before I laid out the plans on top of the foam board, I covered it all in packing tape, especially for the wing. It makes it a lot stronger than just bare paper, waterproof as well. So this is a part of the wing forming process. It's actually a type of foam board wing called the Armin wing, and it involves putting in this spar in the middle here. Here's a picture of the layout of how that spar is built. It involves taking off the paper from the foam, like stripping it, and then you fold up the wing and glue it down. And you get this sort of airfoil shape to the wing with that folding method. I actually went ahead and added some polyhedral to the wing, so a little angle like that. Yeah, so the wing has 2 points of polyhedral. It's straight on this section. And the polyhedral gives it a little bit of passive stability in the air. If the airplane's rolling over in one direction, the shape of the wing corrects for that roll, and it tends to want to fly level. Yeah, here's a picture of the tail feathers here. So you see elevator and rudder actuated by servos and push rods. It's not ideal to put the servos back on the tail here. It kind of throws off the weight and balance and makes the plane more tail heavy. But I didn't have very suitable wire push rods. This is just like copper wire, and it's hard to make it in segments that are long enough to get from all the way towards the middle of the fuselage back to the tail feathers, so that's why the servos are back there. So here's V1 of the airplane. Does not have any of the flight controller board or GPS features in there yet. This was really just to test out this big wing using the electronics that I had before my order came in. Motor, battery compartment here. The wing is held on with rubber bands. Just a shot of the battery compartment open here. This is a 1300 milliamp hour 3-cell LiPo. I've gotten decent performance out of these in the past. You can get probably 15 minutes of flight time. I might be stretching there. Maybe it's a little bit less. We'll go into the maiden flight of this airplane before we start to get into the more advanced stuff that I was doing. Actually got my friend Rajiv here to bring out his drone and film me flying for the first time, and we'll see how that went. So I'm just blowing my nose here, getting ready, pretty nervous, but excited, All right, throttle up, and I'm gonna toss it here. And we're off. And I wasn't doing a very good job of being in control of the airplane. And Rajiv wasn't doing a very good job of filming it, but I don't blame him. And in just a little bit here, I'm gonna go off. Oh, there I am. Just really trying not to crash at this point, and we'll see how that works out in a second here. And I'm down. Ooh. It was a bad crash. Let's see. And he filmed me going out to rescue the thing. And you can see just how bad the damage was. The wing was intact, which is great. I used that again in the next build. But yeah, fuselage cracked in half. And needed some fixing up. I did order this very high-tech flight control board. It's called a Maytech F405 wing. It's specifically made for controlling fixed-wing aircraft. You can see all the in-out pins and, it's like voltage ground and all that. And you can see I'm not great at soldering, but I get by, and stuff worked. Here's a close-up shot of the board. Very high-tech, and I was super excited to get into some soldering and a little bit of electronics. Stuff that I have really no experience with, but it's fun to learn. So here's a shot of airplane V2. This is actually after my maiden flight. It has a GPS unit on board. This is actually GPS and a compass, but I couldn't figure out the compass calibration just yet, but GPS was working pretty good. I did a test outside one night. Well, maybe I'll show that video here. About 12:30. Out here in front of the dorm here. Got all my electronics set up, minus motors, minus servos. And look at this. This is my first GPS lock, 11 satellites. Looks like we're reading out 42.2929, negative 71.263. I think that speaks for itself. Very amped right now. I give it a thumbs up. Pretty excited. Here's a look inside the electronics hatch in the V2 aircraft, where this is the nose side, this is the tail side. So you see my ESC speed controller for the motor here. It's going into wires, those go to the motor. ESC is rigged into the board, and also the battery connector, and a bunch of jumbled wires. Radio receiver right here. Servos from the tail are coming in here. Video and power lines from the camera coming in through this hole on the top of the flap. Here are servo leads for the ailerons. Here's my little camera mount on the top here. This is actually pretty neat. It's a camera and a video transmitter in one. Very kind of cheap unit, and not the best range on this transmitter, but the camera quality is actually pretty good. I will have to change this mounting solution here because this unit heats up quite a bit when it's operating, and it kind of melts the hot glue. Yeah, that yellow stuff is hot glue. Picture of the tail feathers. These actually need a little bit of fixing up after my crash landing. There's just a better shot of the servos and the push rods going back to these control horns on the tail feathers. I have a couple of videos of what I was up to today. Okay, test of the iNav system. It's pretty dark. 5:45, February 20th. Got the goggles, I've got video. I've got 15 satellites, and I don't have anybody here to film for me, but I'll let you know how it goes. And here's me letting you know how it went. All right, I probably crashed within 20 seconds down in a tree. Hey, Avery. I was flying my airplane and crashed it within like 30 seconds.
Oh no.
It's in a tree somewhere over there. I see it right now. That's actually very convenient. So, here, take a look at these.
Oh, damn.
That's video from the airplane.
Nice, dude.
I got it up, and I put the goggles on, and I got freaked out. And
Yeah.
I started losing video, and it ended up crashing.
Damn. You think it's okay?
It was okay for the most part. These pictures are from after the crash, so you can see, I mean, everything's intact. The wing is spotless. Actually, one of the little control horns of the aileron came off, but that's like a 30-second fix. The tail feathers need some little bit of gluing back on. I guess the next steps I'm gonna take, need to find another mounting solution for the camera. Just some little fixes, like I said, with the tail feathers and with one of these ailerons here, but I'm thinking I'll be able to. There's good weather tomorrow and the winds are okay. I'll have a lot more light. It's gonna be a bit warmer. I'm thinking the second flight, I might be able to get into some GPS sort of stuff and utilize some return to home features that the flight controller is supposed to be very good at. I guess that concludes this update, and I hope you enjoyed.